Four wise women with different coaching specialties talk about living an empowered, creative, and balanced life.
We all have our own way to deal with things, and that some people, their job is to get outraged and fight for change in a big public way that encourages and excites thousands of people to come and protest him. And others of us have a smaller, more personal way. I mean, we of course we still get outraged, but our way of making change in the world is like one person at a time with the person right next to us. And we have it that we have different jobs on how to change the world.
Absolutely. Right, because the people like Oprah, I mean, she does change a lot of lives, and yet she's so busy and so in demand and has such a big voice in the world that she can't be, just dealing with one person at a time. So it's sort of like the big leaders that, and yeah, you're right. Everybody's got a role to play.
And it's the same with what your personal goals are. Like it doesn't have to be going to Italy or living in Italy to make it a worthwhile goal. It could be a vegetable garden and living in a place you love to live in or whatever. It could be all kinds of things. We're working toward this RV life, and he has a different kind of, we have different things that make us feel comfortable and secure, and the finances, he's a little less tolerant of risks, that financial risks. And I'm not tolerant. I don't want to take big financial risks. I survived with a business through the Great Recession, or whatever. Are we calling it the Great Recession still? Because I feel like we're in another one. But anyway,
Creasy is what they call it here. The Creasy.
The Creasy?
The crisis.
Oh,
the economic crisis.
Yeah, it was the financial crisis. Yeah.
So I'm much more cautious about money now, but I also know that, there's never going to be a time I know I'm always going to have such and such number of students. That's just not going to happen. That's just not how reality works when you're self-employed. Right. And so it's a little, so not only am I sort of working on my own stuff, but I'm sharing my life with someone who also has to find his comfort, with it. And that's an extra challenge. It's easier to.
It is an extra challenge. I agree. Yeah. We have our dreams and our goals and our perspectives. And when you have a partner you're trying to stay true to who you are, but you also have to balance it out with somebody else's needs and perspective. And I was just using the garden as an example because I'm ready to, I spent $180 at Home Depot yesterday, and I turned to Phil and said, I'll pay for it. It's okay. Because I could tell he's like, and I get it. We have to be careful, but it's like, that's not that much just for a garden overall.
Especially if it's gonna reduce your groceries in the long term.
Well, yeah, we're planting veggies. Yeah. But so I learned also how to we learn how to sort of do compromise as well, whether it's regarding our children so we're trying to follow our goals and our dreams and create what we want. And sometimes we have to temper it with, the hose we got isn't long enough. So I'm going to have to get a watering can, spray the water, and go.
Little insight into what she bought at Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you were talking about the RV and how it's not just you jumping an RV and going. You have to take into account other people as well. So.
I would already be in an RV if it was just me, but I also might be financially stressed out if I had done that. So it's like pros and cons.
We're having this conversation. It's making me realize that we need to look more at what would you do if you were on your own. And I know our whole story would be different. Because I have two daughters, and they impact my choices in life for sure. And what would, if we were individual people with no need to take care of others, what's brewing at the essence of that?
Absolutely.
And how can we bring that up and balance it out?
Bring some of it into our lives. Yeah.